Hello, friends, and welcome back to the channel. Gung Guns here. I hope you're having a great Friday so far. Today, we're going to talk about what you should be bringing to the new server transfers as they're coming out. Whether you're going to the 19-day PvP server or the PvE server that's coming later in October 17th to be exact. This list is going to take advantage of the 20,000 points you're given to give you the best optimal start day one on your new server. If you are planning to play Once Human on the PvE servers in October, consider joining the Mando Community Discord. We have a warband that will be going there on the North America servers on day one, and you are all invited to join up. One final little plug here. I promise I am grinding up to 10k subs, and I would very much appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button. Of course, only if you enjoy the video. So let's get into it. All right, let's jump into it. So before we even start, so you guys are aware, you get 20,000 points at the end of the season to bring all of your items that you want to save from season to season from Eternal Land. And what that looks like, so you guys are aware, if you go to the transfer option, you'll see it right here. This is how many points you have, and this is how many you've used for that season. And again, everything costs points to bring over. Like, for example, if I go over to this blue grenade, it costs 1,000 points to bring over, which is ridiculous, right? Because you only have 20,000. The other thing, if you want to bring like an animal that, you know, is bred and you've unlocked everything on it, it costs 300 points to bring over, which is pretty, I think it's a fair price for that. But again, just so you guys are aware, this is what you can bring over, and there's some things that you cannot, you know, for example, if you look at my solar drill, on the very bottom in red, it'll say this season exclusive item. You are not allowed to bring any items from this season specifically to that season. All right, let's get into it. So the number one thing that you should bring on every server is a drill. Now, I know what you're saying. The solar drill is a season exclusive item, blah, blah, blah. Definitely, you are right. You cannot bring this over. However, you can't bring over this one. The electric rock drill, which, by the way, this is located in your memetics all the way on the bottom right here in the advanced drills. You can make this one, make one or two, and bring this over for a very cheap price. So this is the number one thing that I would do here is I would bring the advanced electric rock drill and advanced chainsaw. Because I'm sure you guys remember, on your first week, you're stuck there using, you know, a crude pickaxe and a rock, you know, to break down items, ores, trees, etc. This will save you hours. All right. And the number two thing that I am bringing over, and I think you should as well, is located in your materials, and it is your acid. Not a lot of acid, mind you. It costs 2 points per one acid to bring over. Okay, I would bring 100 to 150 acid just to give you that little amount on that first week, so it's not, you know, considerably bad where you're out there grinding it. Now, I know you can get it, etc., but 100 to 150 is just right to make it easy for you to, you know, be playing more on the week one instead of grinding. So again, this is what I'm bringing week one. The number three thing that I'm bringing, and I encourage you guys to do the same as well, it is the seeds. Not all the seeds, just 2 seeds, Moral and Aloe Vera seeds. The reason for me to bring these seeds is these are super rare to find. I know this play around, it took me almost 4 weeks to get Moral seeds, and then once I got them, it was just crazy. And then Aloe Vera, I just got the contaminated one. I didn't even get the real one yet. So these are super rare. If you get your hands on them, you know, in your previous season, you should definitely bring them over. And before you ask how much they cost, they might be a lot. They're actually very cheap to bring over. I'll show you that here in a second. As you see right here, they only cost 10 points to bring over. So for you to bring 1 seed of each over will cost you 20 points. Very cheap for you to save a headache later down the line. I definitely encourage you guys to bring, again, Moral seeds and Aloe Vera seeds. That's it. All right. And for the next one is a little controversial one. I have so many friends that have actually stopped playing Once Human because they could not bring their weapon over. Now, you can't bring your weapon over. It just costs a lot. And when I mean a lot, I actually mean a lot. So for you to bring over a thin calibrated weapon. Okay, like this one, for example, is my 10 calibration SOCAR. It costs, and if you guys look right there, 11,000 points. I'll repeat that, 11,000 points. That's more than half of your points that you are allocated each month. Do not bring your weapon over, guys. Do not bring your weapon over. It costs too much. There's no need for it. Because remember, you get to save the blueprint already. So what should you actually be bringing over? I'm glad you asked, because let's talk about it. What makes the weapon good? Is it the weapon itself? Because you can just craft another, tier 5 weapon and level it to 10. It's not that. What it actually is you're looking at it right there. It is the calibration attachment. That is what makes the weapon better. And do you know how much it costs to bring one of those? A gold one will cost you 1,000 points. I can live with that. So what I'm going to do before the server ends is I'm going to find the best attachment for the build that I'm planning to play next season, and I'm going to bring that blueprint with me. For 1,000 points, that is something that I can live with. And remember really quick, guys, that once you use the calibration, you cannot take it out again. So do not put your attachment in anything other than a tier 5 weapon on the new server. But again, for 1,000 points, I can live with that. All right, and the last item per se that I am going to bring over, and I suggest you guys as well, if you have any, is if you have not used any of your controllers. They're very cheap to bring, and you should definitely bring them. If you have any controllers left over, you should definitely bring it over as well. Again, you should be using all your controllers in that season. However, like this season, for example, I've done everything for, last season, so there really wasn't a lot of things for me to do. So I held on to my controllers, which I will bring into the next season, and I will have double the controllers to get, new mods, new weapons, etc., whatever. So once again, if you have any leftover controllers, definitely bring them over because they are worth every point that you have. All right, and finally, after you've gotten all of those, what should you be spending the rest of your points on? You should have roughly like 12 to 10,000 points-ish around there. In my opinion, you should not be spending any of those points on anything else than Deviants. Now, I'm going to give you some of my favorite Deviants that I'm going to bring over day one, and I suggest you guys do that as well. For example, the number one Deviant that you should always bring with you is the Wolf's Whisper, the Canine. This thing is amazing. And just remember, you cannot get this Deviant in the first week because it is the 4th monolith that he comes from. So what does this Deviant do? It is a tank. In the week 1 or the first week in there, it would literally tank and keep the threat off you from anybody that you fight. You can fly through the entire start just because of that Deviant. Do not sleep on it. I think that's a must to bring over to the new server. The next Deviant that I'm bringing over is the Artisan's Touch. You can make the all-purpose hands with it, and it just repairs your armor. I'm sure you guys have noticed in this season, armors and weapons are breaking down pretty easily, pretty fast. And this thing is going to help you day one to make sure that while you're out there grinding or whatever you're doing, and if you get caught with your weapon breaking, one little item, by the way, of these will repair it to full. There it is. One of these will repair your item or the lowest item back to full. It is definitely a must. The other one that I'm personally bringing over, and I know somebody's going to say they don't like it, but that's okay. This is my list, is the Lethal Rabbit. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent hunting deer for their hides. I cannot tell you the first season and the second season, because all of the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 weapons, tools, and armor require hides. Lethal Rabbit is going to take care of all of that. It's going to bring you the hides, all the meats, everything for you to survive and not have to spend or dedicate a few hours a day to go out there farming deer. This guy takes care of all that. I'm definitely bringing him with me day one. I don't care. All right, after those 3 Deviants, honestly, it's really up to you. For example, if you are on the PvE server or PvP server, whatever the rare Deviants that play along with your build. For example, I do the Skywalker build. It's in my channel. You guys can check it out. I use this option right here, and I use 4 different whims with it. So the arrow leap is very important to me, as is the weaver, etc., etc. So I will be bringing the atomic snail with me as well day 1. Along with the atomic snail, I will be bringing in the flame essence, because this is a super rare drop for me. I don't know how long I've been spent looking for him. Only one has dropped in 2 playthroughs, guys. This is how rare this fucking Deviant is. I could not get him. So I'm definitely bringing him with me, and I apologize for swearing there. I'm trying to be good today. The other one is the polar jelly. I have no luck with the polar jellies. Only like 3 have dropped so far for me, and this is the only one that I got this season. So I'm definitely bringing that with me. Everything else, all your other points, this is what I suggest. You should, again, have a lot of points left. Is take a look at that and bring only the rarest deviants that you guys have. Like, for example, if you have a very good jelly, like my jellies suck, I'm probably not going to bring it. But if I had a better jelly, I would definitely bring it, over. Same thing with everything else. Everything else you can easily grab. Look at it this way. If the deviant is a static drop, meaning that you can just go there and it's always going to be there. You can switch a world and it'll definitely be there if somebody already took it. I would not bring that deviant over, because you can just go get it. But if there is little RNG involved, I would consider bringing those deviants over with you. What not to bring? Okay, do not bring any dig boys. They're super easy to get, unless you have like a super rare one, the gold one, or the blue one. That's different, but do not otherwise bring those. Do not bring the beaver. Again, they're super easy to get. Definitely do not bring any one of the these the maids over the doors. You can find all this stuff, guys, week 1 or the first couple of weeks. Also, do not bring over any other materials. And I'll show you guys how crazy this is. So for you to bring over 200 sulfur, it is 615 points. Now, this might not seem like a lot, but trust me, it adds up, and it definitely is. For you to bring like a high voltage battery, it's 500 points per. 1 crude barrel of oil, 50 per. There's no reason to bring any of this stuff, because you can get it, with you right off the bat, and with the barrel fuel, you can just go there and get it, the second week when you can actually get up there. And we don't even know if, they're going to have crude oil over there in the new map. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, this is not what I would bring at all. Just in case, I would consider bringing only deviants with your remaining points, because they're going to help you. Last thing I'm going to say before I end the video, just remember really quick, if you go into your memetics, okay, in the very first week of, if I can actually find it in here, the very first week of the game, if you take this option right here, the expansion, you can have 10 deviants in your base on the first week. And then during the second week, you can expand it to have 20. That is it. You cannot bring any more deviants over, or you shouldn't, because you can only have 20 at your base. So do not be bringing deviants that you're never going to use. There's no reason for it. Only bring the deviants that are going to benefit you, that season. Because guess what? If you want to waste your points, go for it. But I definitely wouldn't. If you have leftover points, okay, if you have, after you brought all the deviants you want to bring over, all the items I mentioned, you have some leftover points and you don't want to use it on Stardust or Acid, save them. You don't have to use them right away. You can bring something back later from Eternal Land to your server later on. Maybe one day you're a couple weeks in, you'll need another deviant, or maybe you'll need this or that. You can easily just grab it from Eternal Land if you have the points. So do not bring, over anything that you're not going to need or use. Before you say, how do you know this? I actually checked it and it did work for me. And we go back to it really quick in the manage materials, if it lets me. I actually had a lot more points left, and I ended up bringing something over 2 weeks ago, and it brought it down to 5. So I double checked it. It definitely works. Again, save your points if you're not going to use them. Otherwise, you use it on all your rarest deviants. Thank you guys again for watching. Sorry about all the rambling. And again, if you guys are looking for people to play with, join our Mando community. Otherwise, have a great Friday. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, folks.